Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from your sustainability specialist office. Yeah, I'm still working it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, still changing the title every single time you come on here, Phil.
The tough thing is that every single time it means I have to go back upstairs and change my little desk title sign. I've got like 13 of them now just sitting in my drawer.
Oh man, if we went back and watched me botch every single one of them, that would be pretty sad. If you ever watched all the videos back to back, by the way, welcome back. Welcome back. My wife hates that.
I had a grad school advisor who just had a placard on his desk that said director of something or other, and I'm just getting close to that. Sustainability something or other.
Sorry, Phil. I do appreciate you keep coming back, though.
Oh, yeah.
So you keep coming back for more, which is all awesome.
I'm just on pins and needles waiting to see what's next.
All right. Well, let's start with the annual Shred and Recycling event. About a week and some change out here. But nevertheless, the Spring Recycling event back. We talked about it last time. It'll be on Saturday, April 12th from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Here at City Hall. Maybe to change it up a little bit, because we've had some fun talking about this in different aspects. I'm going to ask you about what's each one of these levels cost you, but it doesn't. The importance of keeping these things out of the landfill is one of the questions I've asked you in the past. But let's talk about what the company itself and why we're using them, and how do we ensure that they're doing the right thing and recycle them as well, because we're asking everybody to bring these things to keep it out of the landfill.
Yeah, it's a fair question.
But the company that we're using also is doing a great job here.
Yeah, Resource Solutions, they are a trusted, reliable partner. They operate out of Madison. They've got a location actually that you can bring your electronics to their physical location for recycling. We contract with them for this event because it makes it so much more convenient for the residents of Fitchburg that that on a specific day and time, on the weekend when a lot of people aren't working, you're able to come in and bring those items to Civic Campus. It's so much more efficient to get obviously we get a tremendous response from this, and several tons of electronics that are brought in every year for recycling. They do have to go through verification validation processes to ensure that they're following up on their end of the bargain. So this is not just like somebody we found off of Craigslist that claims they're going to do this. We have a lot of trust in Resource Solutions here.
Yeah, and I think it's important because you're trying to keep it out of the landfill, so you're hoping that they're not a collector of taking it and then going to landfill.
And they of course they are. You create a company like this typically because you are also very committed to this process, to making sure that we're keeping these, maybe heavy metals, maybe different chemicals out of landfills where they could leach. You're making sure that we can reuse some of these products as much as possible to get a little bit closer to a circular economy, and also that we're just keeping bulk out of the landfill, because we know that, certainly this is a conversation in Dane County right now that the landfill is getting closer to its max, and we're looking at expansion. This is a common theme all over the place, that landfills eventually, they're not infinite, they fill up. And you got to go create a new one. So the longer you can keep one landfill active without maxing it out, the better for everyone. It's more cost savings, and it means that you're not taking what otherwise could be developable land or land for parks and natural resources and things like that. We like to divert as much as possible. That's a pretty common theme with what we're trying to do in terms of waste management.
Well, and we've talked about this too. We've seen the number of people coming out to this event just continue to grow each and every time, which I think is just really rewarding in one sense, that if you make it regular and you build it, they will come, and I think everybody continues to do that. So thank you all for doing good work here on doing it. And if you miss this one, will we be back in the fall with another?
We'll do another one in the fall. I want to say September 13th. It's the second Saturday in September. We'll be doing this again.
It's not on a Badger game day, is it?
I think it's an away game.
Phil.
I think it's an away game. I don't know. It's not Alabama.
It's not.
We're not overlapping with Bama again.
All right. There is extra costs on some of the recycling for electronic recycling, so make sure you check that ahead of time. You can go to our website, fitchburgwi.gov. We have it right on the homepage there, pinned up for you. So definitely check that out. And then you can do the shredding of documents as well, which we're going to leave Phil out of that one. On that one. We're going to go over to your sustainability plan, though. That is up for adoption here with the Common Council on April 8th. Pretty exciting.
We're really excited. This has been a 2-year process. There have been, if you include the survey that we sent out for the public, there have been hundreds and hundreds of people involved in making this plan a reality. So many hours, so much time between staff and our planning team and the consultants, and now bringing in council and the mayor as well. It's going to be really rewarding to get this passed. So on Tuesday the 8th at the Common Council meeting, they're going to hold a final vote on the sustainability plan. They did have a conversation about it March 11th at their council meeting, and just didn't have the full contingent of alders available for the vote that night. So yeah, they're voting on it this coming Tuesday, and then assuming adoption, we get to start moving forward and implementing it, looking at budget requests, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
Well, and the next time you come back, whether it's adopted or not, we'll talk about it and then talk about kind of what those first steps look like here on your next update. So excited for that. You can check that plan out again on our website as well, fitchfordwi.gov. Low Mo May, we're already coming up to May. By the next time you come to this desk, when you come sit here in my office, Low Mo May.
Low Mo May.
Pollinator season.
Pollinators.
Spring,
oh man,
everything.
This is exciting. Everything is back in bloom again. We're getting green. I mean, I know if winter sports are your thing, maybe you're not as excited, but I think most people get really stoked about the spring bloom coming.
I think like baseball season starts. Like to me, it's like baseball. Warm weather.
Spring
like
is
just
here.
It's like okay, we're in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really excited. I love winter. I love the cold weather, and still when spring comes, I get a little extra bounce in my step. And so
everybody does, right?
Everybody does.
Like,
and so do all these little pollinators. Let's just go ahead and segue into it. With warming temperatures, we've got pollinators starting to become active again, and especially early in the spring, there's not a lot of flowers. There's a little bit less in terms of habitat and food. So anything we can do to give these pollinators, especially native ones that are facing a little bit more struggle with a lot of loss of native habitat, give them a little bit of a leg up. And so we ask people to consider participating in Low Mow May. It's not necessarily that you just let your lawn go for the entire month, but mowing a little bit less frequently, mowing at a higher deck height so that you're clearing some of the lower growing flowers like clover and violets. Consider things like replacing some of the grass, some of your turf grass with low growing clover if that's an option for you. Looking at planting some native wildflowers and shrubs. We took out last year, 2 years ago, a couple of honeysuckle that, they're fine, they're okay, but they're invasive and they kind of spread all over if you let them. So we took those out, replaced them with a couple of native service berries, and we just feel so much better about that. The cedar waxwings love the berries, and the natives love the native pollinators love those flowers as well. And so things like that if you're able to just do whatever you can to help those native pollinators, help them sort of get a head start coming into the warmer month. That's really important for our native ecosystems.
I think there has been more of a change to not, the no mow piece, which start again either way with low mow, whatever, reducing or just thinking about pollinators in general. But I think it's easy to bring in some of those plants, and they're so cool. Oh, yeah. Like it's really cool if you do get to see that, and maybe we'll see the return of some butterflies, maybe you'll see some returns of some more bees, and other pollinators out there. But you can do a lot with a little, I guess. Yeah. Is it?
Yep.
Which it may feel like why, Phil? Why?
What we're so used to is the poster child of pollination is the honeybee, and we're all familiar with it. I can tell you a lot about it. I spent literally an entire summer studying them. They're great. They're
fantastic. Note to self: we are going to be asking you bee quiz next time.
They're so cool. They're European. They're imported. And they're incredibly important for our food production, but those aren't the native bees we're talking about. There's a lot of other bumblebees and other native bees, ground-dwelling bees, and bees that nest in hollows in tree cavities and logs and things like that. These are the native bees we're talking about that they're not necessarily as successful generalists as the European honeybees are. They really do specialize in certain types of flowers, certain types of food. And so if you just let dandelions go, okay, some bees are going to be happy with that. Also European, also an invasive. You'll see a lot of honeybees on those too. But that's not necessarily what we're talking about. Any pollination is good pollination, but we're really trying to think about those native species that are struggling as we have gone away from planting with natives that are specific to this ecosystem.
Well, it's interesting too because you don't want to necessarily mow as much as maybe you're like, oh, how can I cut back on the mowing, or maybe with less lawn, and maybe if putting some things that need less care too with some of the native plants. I mean, it's like a win-win right there. If you ask me, that's more time for you to put your feet up and watch the pollinators at work.
There you go.
Same. All right. Well, definitely take that. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up in May. As maybe we'll just sit outside and see what we can spot. That actually, maybe we can do a sit outside.
Yeah, we'll bring out some little feeding stations, sugar, water, and just try to draw the bees to us.
If we get stung, it's your fault.
Oh, you won't get stung.
I used to be afraid.
They're
of bees.
more afraid of you than I did too. And then I spent a summer with them flying around my head, and that you get used to it real fast.
Changes your mind quickly.
It does.
Oh, man. All right. Finally, I just want to mark that B-Cycle bikes are out, and they came out. It was kind of interesting because it came out actually in a warm time, and then, bam, we were hit with snow again.
Cold spell, yeah.
It's just how it works.
So, yeah, B-Cycle's been active since March 15th. We got all our stations up. We got a few more docks we're going to place this summer to finish out the DOT TAP grant that we benefited from a couple years ago to help expand the system. Right now, we're at 19 stations in Fitchburg and about 75 docks, and we're going to try to get that right up to an even 100 docks. We might add a few more to some existing stations that are getting heavier use. We might add a few more stations out there, but somewhere around 20 to 22 stations will be the final number with 100 docks, and hoping to get that finished this year.
There you go. And then you can go check the pollinators out.
There we go.
Full circle this thing.
It's all right. Connected.
Phil, thank you so much. Always fun to catch up with you, and we'll see you in the month of May.
Happy baseball season.
Happy baseball season. Go Brewers, not Condor. Bye.
Go Cards.